Let's go right into the running backs. There's a ton. So if you're still here with us, thank you so much. Drop that like button.
Oh
Really
god,
helps out the show.
so
We
many.
really have to talk about the running backs. There's about a bajillion of them.
Who do you want to start with? Just pick a random one.
We're staying in Minnesota. Josh Jacobs to Minnesota. We're going there
To
because I know Dirtbag
Minnesota.
Dave's here.
You mean
Did
Aaron
I? Oh,
Jones?
yeah. Aaron Jones to Minnesota because Dave's still
Oh my
here.
God.
I apologize, people. Look, it's my preseason. Okay, it's my first show back.
I already have like all of these like memorized exactly where they went.
Yeah,
So
I
like
know.
this is burned into my head now.
Josh Jacobs went to the other team in the north.
Yes.
Yes, Aaron Jones to Minnesota. This was big because I thought we were going to have something fun. Aaron Jones, Josh Jacobs. Let's have some fun in Green Bay, but Aaron Jones was released a little
Immediately.
bit.
And then
Yeah.
like 2 minutes later signed with the Vikings.
It's
So
so funny because there is a person that listens to the show regularly, and he's a big Packers fan, and Dirtbag Dave's and Dave knows him as well. And he's like in our group chat, like, all right, woohoo. And all of a sudden he's like, R.I.P. Aaron Jones. Like immediately, like there was high and then low, but still like kind of evened off. Like, okay, at least we have. What do you think about Aaron Jones, man? Like,
this should be interesting for the Vikings. I mean, this is a major upgrade over Alexander Madison, as long as he can stay healthy and on the field. I'm really worried about the entire Vikings offensive players right now because we don't know who the quarterback is going to be. Is it actually going to be Sam Darnold, or are they going to trade up for a rookie quarterback? We don't know. That's the thing. That's the hard part about predicting any of this. Because right now, Justin Jefferson is falling down my rankings just because of his quarterback situation. He doesn't have Kirk Cousins now. He has Sam Darnold. Yes, he is the best wide receiver in the world, but the quarterback throwing him the ball is a huge impact for the wide receiver and now a catching running back. Um, I I like this for Aaron Jones though. I mean, this is probably one of his better spots. I would have preferred him to go to like the Cowboys, but the Cowboys can't afford anybody right now. So it, this is he finished RB 26 points per game. That's probably where he'll end up finishing this year in the 20s.
so most casual fans, at least, Dave, I was going to bring that up. Can you put that comment up there? I was going to bring that up, but we're not talking about Justin Jefferson. So this is a strictly Aaron Jones segment. But I wanted to say the same thing, Dave. Did you see Justin Jefferson with
That's
Nick
fair.
Mullins, with Josh Dobbs, with any? It doesn't
That's
matter.
fair. That's fair.
Doesn't matter. Justin Jefferson's the best in the world. Period.
Yeah.
Cut it. Show it on Twitter. Let everyone
Done.
know. Get your Jamar Chase out of here. Aaron Jones, the casual fan base, and me as well, because I didn't really pay attention to Aaron Jones because I never rostered him. He was never a target of mine. But I always thought he was the guy, like 11 carries. If he's lucky, he'll get a touchdown. He'll get some, passing work, but he's not really a bell cow kind of guy. But if you look at his stats, which I'm doing right now, from week 16 on, the dude had 20 carries in every single game except for week 20, which was in the playoffs. He only had 18, but he still got the work done. Over 100 total yards in all of those games every single week. He can get the work done. That's what Minnesota was successful at. Dalvin Cook. I know it's a different scheme. I know different coaching. I understand that. But if you can control that ground game, you give Aaron Jones the opportunity to get the carries, to carry the ball. Because I felt like they were experimenting with A.J. Dillon and he wasn't working out. Then all of a sudden, Aaron Rodgers just wanted to throw, just toss the ball to Devontae Adams 100 times a game. Aaron Jones never was given the opportunity to be like the man. And if he's put in a situation where he's surrounded by Addison, Justin Jefferson, TJ Hawkinson, now you got to worry about Aaron Jones. Yo, place in Sam Darnold. Let Sam Darnold do what he's going to do. Let him be a game manager. Let him be kind of that. I've learned here. I went to Seattle. I went to wherever he went. I went to San Francisco. I learned. Let him actually play. Let's see what happens in camp. Let's say they do trade up for a quarterback. Then you have Sam Darnold and this rookie. They're pushing each other. We've seen when Geno Smith went to Seattle, I guarantee you were like, and I know I was like, Geno Smith has never done anything in a day in his life.
That's fair.
He went out there and he had DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. He had all these weapons around him. He made it work because he had the coaching, he had the players. So let Sam Darnold go in there or whoever.
That's fair.
With all of this talent,
And Sam Darnold also just was being coached by probably one of the best coaches for the quarterback position, for the mid quarterback position. I mean, truthfully. So let's See what Sam Darnold can cook.
So
in,
I'm
Minnesota.
excited for Aaron Jones. I'm excited for the situation. All right, we have so many more guys. We could
Yeah,
talk about Aaron.
we gotta
We have
go.
all off season to break all this down.
Yes, we do.
We
Next
have
person.
okay. I'm gonna delete this person. All right, let's go to Josh Jacobson since I already messed that up.
Josh Jacobs, Green Bay. There you go. The other North team.
The other North team that
Finished
confused.
RB 18 points per game last year. This is the guy that I think has a chance to actually do really, really good with that offense. They've got a young offense. This is, in my opinion, a big upgrade over Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. He can carry the workload for the Green Bay Packers, and that team's getting young. That team's still young enough to where like nobody knows all of their weapons yet. So this is their biggest name now, in my opinion, even over Jordan Love. This offense is going to be great this year. They really improved. They exceeded expectations over last year, and I really love this signing for Green Bay.
Can we see a world where let's be honest. Let's look at this list real quick. I won't name everyone, but everyone on this list we're going to talk about are top tier elite fantasy players for a very long time.
Yeah.
Everyone has a wall. Everyone has a stopping point. I'm not saying Josh Jacobs is going to be the one that busts out of all these because I think there's someone else that will be that bust. But Josh Jacobs has the potential to do it. Look, he's carried the load his entire career. We talked about this many times. All the career yardage, all the career carries. He's been the workhorse for so long. Even last year coming out of the gate, he struggled. He wasn't putting up the numbers. I think he put up less than 10 fantasy points in 3 straight weeks, depending on your format. I know because I had him, and it was miserable. But then he heated up. He got warmed up. But he did miss camp. He held out a little bit. He signed late. So that had a little bit to do with it. Let's see how much of game shape he's in going into Green Bay. It's a totally different offense. You got some young receivers out there. You have a young quarterback. They want to win. I'm into this signing, but I think this one has the most potential to go, man, it just didn't work out. I don't know if it will. I'm just being very wary. These second, third, fourth contract running backs, they're all scary. Most of these guys on this list to me are scary.
Usually once that running back hits that second contract, it does start to get a little scary. Derrick Henry being the exception there from his second contract, he then continued to blow up the league. I'm not as worried. He's still on the younger side. Isn't Josh Jacobs like 25 or 26 years old? He's still young enough to still do well. And old enough to have veteran leadership on that Green Bay offense. So I'm not as worried as you are. I think there are other guys on this list that I'd be more worried about, but he's the one that I'm not worried about. He's going to be a top 12 running back in the league this year.
Dave in the chat just knocked it out. He can't be on the show tonight because of his allergies, by the way. All you Dave fans out there. But he does need the volume. He needs 20, 25 carries to even produce. Trust me, I know. He's great in points per carry leagues. But if he doesn't get the 20 to 25 carries, what is he? He's a 3.5 yards per carry kind of guy. Now, Dave's hating on him because he's a Packer, but I guarantee if he signed with the Vikings, Dave would be like, oh, yeah, we got our bell cow. You know, that's how Dave is. Cow. I get it. I understand, Dave. But I'll tell you this. Josh Jacobs can catch out of the backfield. We've seen it. I mean, last year he was awesome at it. Didn't have as much as I wanted him to. He started out great, then all of a sudden kind of tapered off.
Yeah, but he was playing with Aiden O'Connell.
I understand that. Now he's playing with Jordan Love, who wants to sling it. He wants to sling it to Jaden Reed. He wants to sling it to these Romeo Dobbs. It's going to be a fun offense. It's going to be very, very – does he get the goal line carries? That's where it's going to matter. He's going to get the goal line carries. He's going to pound the ball whenever they're up or late. Well, that's where we're going to make our money.
They don't have AJ Dillon right now, so they don't have another
AJ
running
Dillon,
back to take the vulture the touchdown carries.
AJ Dillon's the biggest. I don't want to say it. I'm trying to say PG. All right. Next guy, Saquon Barkley to Philadelphia. This one's hilarious to me. They upgraded from Deandre Swift, but did they? I mean, looking at the numbers, I love Saquon Barkley. I get it, but is he going to stay healthy? Listen, I'm just trying to get under someone's skin right now.
He's not going to be on that New York, that turf. So
you're right. Touchdown potential. Does it go up or down with the tush push, with the brotherly shove, as they call it?
I'm really worried about that. Will the tush push do as well without Jason Kelce? That was the key factor. That is the reason why nobody could do the tush push. It was Jason Kelce. You don't have Jason Kelce anymore. So is the tush push actually going to be like a real thing now? I mean, I think they're going to try to get away from that a little bit more now. They're gonna have some other center there. I think Saquon Barkley actually
Mother
gets
center.
some more of these touchdowns, and you're not gonna want to go to the Eagles and have all your touchdowns vultured by your quarterback. I mean,
Are they
Saquon's a big name. I think he's gonna demand that ball a lot more than
are they going to do the same thing with Swift? Like, oh, we're going to have Kenny Gainwell in here. We're going to have Boston Scott in here. Like, are we going
run
to
for
play this game?
55 yards, and then at the 5-yard line they bring in Kenny Gainwell for the touchdown.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Are we going to play this game with Saquon?
I don't. Saquon's not that quarterback. Deandre Swift, okay. All the other guys, okay. Saquon's not that guy. He is the premier running back there. Even though he's getting old, he's been injured. Old. I mean, he's in his 20s still.
He's 27.
Oh, I miss being 27.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, no, he'll be fine with the Eagles. I don't think he finishes RB9 this year. I think he actually takes a step back, even being on a better offense, but he's getting older.
That's the thing. In New York, he was the show. He was the guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like if you talk about wrestling terms, he was the Cody Rhodes of AEW. He was the guy.
Yeah. And there was no AJ Brown and Devonta Smith on his team to take away his
there was Isaiah Hodgins and I couldn't
Paris
even
Campbell and Darren Waller and
yeah. So now Saquon's going to a situation where there is the AJ Brown. It's kind of like the opposite effect that we were talking about earlier, where wow, there's so much going on with Aaron Jones. Like there's Justin Jefferson, this and that. Saquon, there's like, oh, there's AJ Brown, there's Devontae Smith, there's so much. There's Jalen Hurts taking carries away, taking touchdowns away at the goal line. So there is going to be some regression, I believe, but I still love Saquon Barkley. He's a beast no matter what. We got people excited for Saquon Barkley in the chat. Hey, I'm excited for him to go. I wanted him to go to Dallas just because I think it'd be a dagger to all of them fans in New York. I really thought that would be the funniest, hilarious thing of all time.
If we really want to talk about Dallas, this is now the second Eagles running This is now the second time the Eagles have picked one of the best running backs in the league from one of their divisional rivals, because you had DeMarco Murray from Dallas to Philadelphia. Now you got Saquon Barkley from New York to Philadelphia.
That first DeMarco Murray year was a disaster.
It was, exactly. So will that be Saquon Barkley this year?
I don't know.
It's not going to be.
I'm excited for it. What I'm not excited for is we got to talk about Derrick Henry to Baltimore. You know why I'm not excited about it? Because they're in the AFC. They're already a top team. Is Derrick Henry going to run for 2,500 yards? I just feel like this is the most impactful running back signing. We saw Gus Edwards, your boy, score a bajillion touchdowns and just run the ball up the middle for like 4.5 yards per carry. Derrick Henry is Gus Edwards, but like power, like mega. Just I don't want to say on steroids because that's so lame, but it's just a mega version of Gus Edwards.
Yeah, I mean Derrick Henry and didn't they sign another running back? Or no, they were talking about Derrick Henry and Keaton Mitchell are basically an upgraded version of Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins. It's very similar once Keaton Mitchell can come back in the playoffs next year. But yeah, Derrick Henry on this Ravens offense, will this be the thing? Will this be the thing that gets them over the hump, that beats the Chiefs, it beats everybody else in the AFC? They still need a wide receiver though, but Derrick Henry is a big factor.
Do they need a wide receiver?
They have Dave Flowers and they have Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews.
They have Lamar Jackson.
Likely.
They have Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. They're both going to combine for like 3,000 rushing yards. This is going to be insane. I am a true believer that Derrick Henry is going to, even at the old age of, 30 years old, he could still run. He did it last year. He was second in rushing, 1,100 yards. Not too much, but again, for Tennessee in that bad offense, he had 12 total touchdowns. You put him with Lamar Jackson, you run that play action. What are you going to do? How are you going to cover Lamar? I know this has been discussed on NFL Network and everywhere else, right? But what are you going to do? Cover Lamar on the edge? Or are you going to stack the middle for Derrick? What are you going to do when they're on the 5-yard line? First and goal. How can you stop that?
What are you going to do when Lamar hands the ball off to Derrick Henry and then he jumps it up and throws the ball to Lamar Jackson for the touchdown?
What are you going to do? That's all I can say. You can't do anything.
It is going to be tough. Like I said, this could be the year that they finally get over that hump and beat the Chiefs. So
I mean, everyone talks about this already. He's going to the team that rushes the most. who has the most success rushing the ball, the best yards per carry, the best everything on the ground. Just adding Derrick Henry, this is just a perfect fit. Talk about love is blind. This is love is perfect, right? I have no idea what I was just talking about, but
You
I will
don't.
say I have no idea. Is Love is Blind like a game show?
No, it's a reality TV series where two people meet in pods. They can't see each other and they have to build a love connection until one of them proposes to the other. And then they finally get to see each other for the first time after they've been engaged. And then they go to like Mexico, or this year was the Dominican Republic. They have their honeymoon for like a week with all of the other couples. And then they go back to reality. And then 3 weeks later, it's their wedding.
That's awful.
It's
He did.
crazy.
He did. Derrick Henry led the league in carries last year with 280. I have no reason why he can't do that again. At least 250. Just give me 250, Derrick Henry. That's all I need. In 18 touchdowns, please.
Who's next?
Who's next? Who's next? We have.
Should have had like a little spinner wheel. Like, who's
Yeah.
next on the list?
Let's go with I think the biggest bust. Joe Mixon to Houston. Joe Mixon to Houston. I didn't even see this move. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm not excited about this move. I don't know who is excited for this move at all. This crushes Dameon Pierce. He was already crushed, which if you listen to the show, you didn't draft him last year. You drafted Devin Singletary. And this move to me is just like a head scratcher. I don't like it. I don't like it whatsoever.
Yeah, he went from, I mean, he did well on the Bengals, obviously RB11. Now he goes to CJ Stroud and I don't want to say a much better offense. I think they're pretty equal in reality, just the way that they're playing and that they have the weapons. Joe Mixon might be that guy that puts the Texans over the hump. Now they have an actual running back that can actually play. Joe Mixon's not a bad running back. I don't know why
I hate him.
he gets the hate, but he's starting RB1 in the
Listen,
league. So
I understand that. He's just that
Dave
guy.
thinks you're crazy.
I
I
know,
hope he's
Dave.
talking to you, not me.
I
But
know he knows. He knows
Yeah.
it's me, and he knows I've always been a Mixon hater. And you know what? He's been a Mixon hater for like 80% of his career. 80%, because he's like, this guy's a bum, 3.6 yards per carry, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I know this guy's a bum. I get it. There was many years where he just didn't show out. But again, we're at this spot where he is 27 years old. He's going to be 28 when the league starts. Is he going to be one of these guys that hits the wall? Dave, don't come at me like this doesn't happen to many running backs in the league, because it does. If he was so good, and I will say this about every running back, if you look at the trends, most of these guys are leaving their teams because they don't want to pay a running back. Cincinnati, all these guys aren't paying running backs. The only teams that lost a running back, like a Derrick Henry, is like Tennessee signed someone. Cincinnati signed Zach Moss. I'm not saying Zach Moss will outscore Joe Mixon, but I'll bet it. I'll bet it, Dave. I'll bet you, Dave. I'll bet you right now, Campbell in the chat, that Zach Moss to Cincinnati outscores Joe Mixon to Houston. Bet it. But I will say this. Joe Mixon's fine. He's a veteran. He can pass protect. That's the biggest thing. He can protect CJ Stroud, which I don't think Dameon Pierce had that ability. Maybe he did. I'm wrong. He wasn't on the field enough. But I know Devin Singletary is good at it, but not as good as Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon's a great blocker. Joe Mixon can also catch the ball out of the backfield. It's okay. It's just, to me, it doesn't move the needle. I'm not going to put him in my top 12. Dave's out here blowing up the chat, telling me I'm an idiot. Hey, that's OUS when we got people telling us we're idiots. That is what it is. You go ahead. Love Joe Mixon all you want. Seriously.
I like him on this. I think he's
know.
an upgrade. He's not the guy on this list that is going to be the bust of this free agency cycle. So
who is it? You know what? You tell me who the bust is. Let's move on to that guy.
Yeah, let's just move right on to that guy here. Where's the graphic? Tony Pollard is going to be the bust. He was the bust last year, RB23. That's still his starting running back. I think he digresses even more. I think he drops to RB30 this year. And that's going to be my bold prediction of the season for the running backs. Tony Pollard will be not the top 30 running back this year. He's going to a team that has Tyjae Spears already, who's starting to come up. Josh disagrees with me. It's fine.
My son wanted a donut, and I said no to him. Sorry.
No, it's 640. Like, you can't have a donut at 640.
That's what I'm trying to tell him.
Yeah, so they now got better wide receivers. I don't like this offense at all. I guess if you want to compare anything, Tony Pollard is going to be a downgraded version of Joe Mixon on the Bengals, which is they have the offense coordinator from the Bengals last year with Bryce Callahan. I don't like this for Tony Pollard.
I don't like this for Tony Pollard or the Tennessee Titans. It's like you said everything magically, perfectly. They already have Tajay Spears. What are they doing with Tony Pollard? Tony Pollard proved that he wasn't a number one last year. When he lost Zeke, he was just a guy. I agree 1,000%. But I will say this. If anything, you're consistent because last year you said DeAndre Hopkins was going to be it just because of the Tennessee ties. Now we're talking about Tony Pollard just because of the Tennessee ties. I have a feeling we're going to be talking about Calvin Ridley being a bust as well just because of the Tennessee ties. You're just a straight up hater.
Where did DeAndre Hopkins finish last year?
You're so biased.
Where did he finish that last year?
Yes, B, McD, the Titans do have one of the worst GMs in the league.
Well, he's a new GM, so how do we know? He's never been a GM
because of what he
before.
did. Because of what he did. Look at this mess.
Oh, because of Tony Pollard and Calvin Ridley and Mason Rudolph. He got Mason Rudolph too. So there you go. Yeah. So where did DeAndre Hopkins finish again last year?
It doesn't matter, Justin. But
it does. It does because
you're just a hater on Tennessee. Just say it. Just say you're a hater on Tennessee. We can move on.
He's trash. I mean, Tennessee is trash. But DeAndre Hopkins, I got it right. Oh my God, sleeper. What are you doing to me, man? All right. He finished somewhere.
Yeah, I know, but he had games. He had flashes. But come on, he was working with Ryan Tannehill and Will Levis. I mean,
don't discount it now. That wasn't a thing when I was trying to tell you guys he was going to be trash this year.
We have to pick and choose some of these guys because we are running out of time.
Yeah, we are. Oh my God. Oh God, it's already 6:43.
Yeah, real quick. DeAndre Swift to Chicago. Is that a real thing?
That is a real thing.
That really happened. Okay,
that really happened.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a huge upgrade for Chicago.
It is. Too bad. RIP all you Khalil Herbert truthers.
Yeah, that's me. That's me. But I have DeAndre Swift in those leagues too, so it's fine.
Last year, most of my teams I had Roshan Johnson, I had Deontay Foreman, I had Khalil Herbert, I had the freaking magical trio of all bums. None of them worked out. So hopefully DeAndre Swift could be a thing. I don't know who their quarterback's going to be. Hopefully not Justin Fields. But DeAndre Swift to Chicago. That's pretty exciting. We haven't seen a really great running back out of them since. Maybe you can correct me. Matt Forte. Maybe Matt. Yeah, I was gonna say Matt Forte. He was awesome.
Jordan Howard that 1 year.
Yeah, that 1 year. That was awesome. That was a magical year. He was really good for a while.
Because they had Jordan Howard and the little guy.
Can we have a funeral real quick?
Tariq Cohen.
Can we have a funeral?
Yep.
And now, a moment of silence.
We can finally put Antonio Gibson to rest as Austin Ekeler is heading to Washington. It's been a long time coming.
Well, Antonio Gibson's not in Washington anymore.
All I'm saying is we can finally stop talking about it. We can finally, I know it's been over, but I just want to say it's over. There's no chance. I don't even know where Antonio Gibson is, but I'm so happy. I don't ever have to say I am rooting for Antonio Gibson. He's the next CMC. I'm just so glad it's over. And we have an Austin Ekeler in Washington.
Do you want to know where Antonio Gibson is?
Tell me where he went. I have no idea.
Can I stall long enough? Antonio Gibson is with RB 55 of the season. He is now in New England playing for the Patriots.
Let's go. I'm back
behind Ramondre Stevenson.
I'm back. I'm back. Let's go.
Back from the Antonio Gibson trade.
Yeah, Gibson
right there.
And Stevenson.
He is right there.
I love it. I'm back. All right. Austin Ekeler to Washington. Totally love this move, of course. Austin Ekeler is going to be a beast, and I don't think he's going to hit a wall because he is a pass catching back. He can be relevant pass catching, and we could have Brian
rookie quarterback.
Yeah, so I do love this move for Washington. Like to see who they're going to draft. To be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to get Caleb. I doubt it. It'd be pretty cool if they did. And I really don't want to talk about Zach Moss.
Okay,
I just don't. I'm over Zach.
We already talked about Zach Moss.
Yeah.
He almost had 1,000 yards sitting as RB2 for Indy. That's about all I got to say.